The hardest battle you'll ever fight in your life isn't against another person, a tough boss, or an unfair world. It's against yourself. Self-mastery is the real battle. And most people lose it long before they even realize they're in the fight. You can't talk about success without first talking about control. Control over your mind, your emotions, your actions, your words, your habits. Everything that shapes your day, shapes your destiny. The problem with most people is that they want to master the world, but they can't even master their mornings. They want to conquer their dreams, but they can't even conquer their distractions. You can't be great out there until you win in here, right inside your own mind. The real work starts before you even step outside the door. It starts when you wake up and have to decide whether you're going to hit the snooze button or get up and grind. Every day, the version of you that wants to be great and the version of you that's comfortable are at war. One wants to stay in bed, scroll on the phone, and take it easy. The other wants to grow, achieve, and make progress. Whichever one you feed wins. That's what self-mastery is about. Feeding the right wolf is saying no to your excuses, no to your old patterns, no to the voice that says you can't, because that voice is a liar. That voice is your fear pretending to protect you. Self-mastery is recognizing that you don't have to listen to that voice anymore. You have the power to rewrite your inner dialogue. You can tell yourself, I can't, I must, I will. It's easy to talk about wanting more out of life. It's easy to post quotes and talk about goals. But self-mastery means doing the work when you don't feel like it. It means getting up at 5 a.m. when your body screams for rest, but your purpose calls for action. It means putting down the phone when distractions try to steal your focus. It means controlling your emotions when people test your patience. Real power isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself when everything around you is chaos. Most people fail not because they don't have talents, but because they can't control their impulses. They chase comfort over commitment. They let emotions dictate effort. You can't be great that way. You can't reach the top if you're constantly pulled down by your moods and weaknesses. Every time you master a small thing, waking up early, finishing a task, saying no to temptation, you gain strength. Self-control is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But if you keep giving in, it weakens you. Think about it. Every time you say, I'll start tomorrow, you're training your brain to accept delay, to accept excuses, to accept mediocrity. Self-mastery is retraining your brain to understand that the time is always now. There's no later. There's no perfect day. There's only this moment. And what you do with it determines your next. You have to discipline your thoughts because your thoughts shape your decisions and your decisions shape your life. The truth is, your biggest obstacle is not the system, not the circumstances, not the competition. It's you. It's your doubt, your fear, your laziness, your inconsistency. You've been standing in your own way for too long. You can't reach a higher level living with a low-level mindset. You can't win out a game until you win the inner one. And that means becoming brutally honest with yourself. Stop lying about the effort you're giving. Stop pretending you're working hard when you know you're coasting. Self-mastery means holding yourself accountable even when no one's watching. It means setting a standard for yourself that's higher than anyone else's expectation of you. Because when you master yourself, you don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You move because you decided to. Most people spend their entire lives being controlled by habits they never question. They wake up and do the same things over and over, expecting a different result. But to master yourself, you must become aware of your patterns, what triggers you, what distracts you, what steals your time, your focus, your energy. Once you know, you can change it. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Once you see the enemy within, you can disarm it. You can start creating new habits. Habits of discipline, consistency, and excellence. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. No more blaming others. No more pointing fingers. No more waiting for a miracle. You become the miracle when you take control of yourself. Self-mastery also means mastering your environment. You can't expect to stay disciplined in a space full of distractions and negativity. You have to protect your peace like it's gold. You have to surround yourself with people who push you, not people who pacify you. You have to build routines that align with your goals. Motivation is beautiful. It's that spark that gets you started. It's that rush you feel when you hear a powerful message, when you watch someone succeed, or when you imagine the life you want. But the truth is, motivation fades. It's temporary, it's emotional. One day you're on fire, ready to take on the world, and the next day you can't even get out of bed. That's why the most successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. Discipline doesn't care about your feelings. Discipline doesn't need inspiration. It's a decision, a commitment, a promise you make to yourself that no matter what, you will show up and do what needs to be done. Most people fail not because they don't have goals, but because they depend on feelings to get there. They wait to feel right before they move. They wait for the perfect time, the right mood, the right energy, but that perfect time never comes. The truth is, you'll never always feel like it. You'll never always have the energy, the excitement, or the passion. But discipline says, do it anyway. That's the difference between average and elite. Motivation is about how you feel. Discipline is about what you do regardless of how you feel. Motivation burns bright and fades fast, but discipline burns slow and steady. It keeps you moving when the excitement is gone. Think about an athlete training before sunrise when the rest of the world is asleep. Do you think they feel like getting up every morning? Sweat they always want to lift, but they do it because discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline doesn't ask, but do you feel like it today? Discipline says, it's time to work. You see, when you live by discipline, your results become predictable. You might not win every time, but you'll always move forward. Motivation gives you momentum, but discipline builds mastery. It's discipline that shapes habits, and habits shape your future. Discipline is what keeps you going after the excitement dies. When you start something new, it's easy to be hyped. The new diet, the new business, the new workout, it all feels good at first. But after a few weeks, when it's not exciting anymore, that's when discipline is tested. Can you still show up when the feelings are gone? Can you still push through when it's boring, tiring, or uncomfortable? That's what greatness is built. Anybody can start, very few can finish. The ones who finish aren't the most motivated. They're the most disciplined. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. Discipline is like gravity. It's always there, pulling you toward consistency. When you build discipline, you're building structure. You're building reliability. You're teaching your body and mind to perform even when conditions aren't perfect. You're saying, I control me. And that's real power. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can always control what you do next. You can control your effort, your focus, and your response. That's what separates winners from the rest. The ability to act with consistency, not emotion. Some people spend their lives chasing motivation, watching videos, reading quotes, waiting for that fire. But you can't build a life waiting on feelings. You have to build systems that keep you consistent even when your mood changes. Discipline is a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. You build it through repetition, through doing what you said you do long after the mood you set in has faded. Every time you show up despite not feeling like it, you strengthen that muscle. And one day, what was once hard becomes natural. What once required willpower becomes who you are. That's transformation. Not because you got more motivated, but because you got more discipline. Discipline is freedom. It sounds backwards, but it's true. When you're disciplined, you gain control over your life. You don't depend on emotions to decide your day. You don't get tossed around by laziness or distraction. You become dependable to yourself. You know that no matter what's going on, you'll do the work. That confidence is built only through consistency. You can't fake it. You can't talk it into existence. You have to prove it day after day through your actions. Motivation can talk, but discipline walks. Discipline doesn't announce itself. It shows in your results. You can have the greatest goals in the world, but without discipline, they'll stay dreams. Every great story you've ever heard, every athlete, every entrepreneur, every legend was written with discipline. They didn't just wake up inspired every day. They built routines. They built habits. They sacrificed comfort for consistency. They understood that motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you finished. The finish line belongs to those who refuse to quit when the feeling fades. Everywhere you look, people are comparing themselves to someone else. They scroll through social media, and see someone living the life they want, driving the car they dream of, or wearing the clothes they can't afford. They start measuring their worth by what others are doing, forgetting that their only real competition is themselves. You can't become the best version of you if you're constantly chasing someone else's image. The truth is, there's always going to be someone smarter, faster, richer, or more talented. But none of that matters because your journey is unique. You're not running their race. You're running yours. When you wake up every day and decide to be better than you were yesterday, that's where real progress begins. Comparison kills focus. It steals energy, drains gratitude, and blinds you to your own growth. When you measure your worth by others' achievements, you lose sight of what makes you special. You start copying instead of creating, imitating instead of innovating. But the great ones, the truly great ones, don't waste energy looking left or right. They look in the mirror. They study their reflection. They ask themselves, how can I improve today? Because success isn't about outshining others, it's about outgrowing yourself. Every single day is another chance to evolve, to refine your craft, to push a little harder than you did before. When you focus on yourself, you take your power back. You stop playing defense and start playing fence. You stop reacting to what others do and start acting on your own vision. That's what greatness requires. Tunnel vision. You can't build something extraordinary when you're distracted by what everyone else is doing. You have to put your head down, block out the noise, and commit to your own lane. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who compare, they're the ones who compete with themselves. Every workout, every project, every goal is a chance to be a little faster, sharper, stronger than you were yesterday. That's how champions are made, not through comparison, but through commitment to self-improvement. If you spend your time trying to beat others, you'll always chase. There will always be someone ahead of you in one area or another. But if you spend your time trying to beat the old version of you, you'll always win. That's a race you can control. You can control your effort, your mindset, your response, your growth. Nobody else can do that for you. The old you might have been lazy, distracted, unmotivated, full of doubt. But every day you get the opportunity to kill that version and step into something stronger. Every morning is a new chance to reinvent yourself. The only question is, are you willing to put in the work to outgrow who you were? The person you were a year ago shouldn't recognize the person you are now. That's how much you should be evolving. Growth isn't loud, it's silent. It's in the small decisions. The discipline to study a little longer, to train a little harder, to wake up a little earlier. It's not about massive leap, it's about consistent inches. The best version of you is built through repetition and patience. Every time you push past your limits, every time you do what you didn't think you could, you're becoming stronger. You may not see the results immediately, but they're there, growing under the surface. Seeds take time before they bloom. You just have to keep watering them through consistent effort. Competing with yourself also keeps you humble. When you're focused on beating other, you start doing things for attention instead of purpose. But when you're focused on beating yourself, your growth becomes internal. You're not trying to impress. You're trying to improve. You're not seeking validation. You're seeking transformation. You start finding joy not in praise, but in progress. That's when real fulfillment comes. When you realize that every day you're becoming wiser, more disciplined, and more resilient than you were before. There's freedom in focusing on your own path. You stop feeling like you're behind because you realize that your timeline is yours alone. You're not supposed to be where someone else is. You're supposed to be where you are, learning what you need to learn right now. Everyone's journey has a different pace. Some people sprint early but burn out fast. Others move slow but never stop moving. What matters is that you keep going. Don't get distracted by someone else's chapter when you're still writing your own. Progress doesn't always look flashy. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, unseen. But the moment you compare, you lose momentum. Stay in your lane and trust the process. When you focus on self-competition, every setback becomes feedback. You stop seeing failure as defeat and start seeing it as data. What can I do better next time becomes your mindset. You learn, you adjust, and you come back stronger. Most people spend their whole lives running from discomfort, chasing ease, chasing pleasure, chasing what feels safe. But you can't grow in comfort, you can't evolve if you never step outside the walls that keep you cozy. The truth is simple. Everything you've ever wanted lies on the other side of this comfort. Every dream, every breakthrough, every version of greatness you imagine comes with pain, struggle, and sacrifice. It's not meant to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. But the difference between winners and everyone else is that winners don't run from discomfort. They run toward it. They understand that the pain of growth is temporary, but the regret of comfort lasts forever. When you avoid discomfort, you're avoiding progress. You're choosing short-term relief over long-term success. The gym hurts, but that pain builds strength. Studying late hurts, but that effort builds knowledge. Waking early hurts, but that discipline builds consistency. Every uncomfortable thing you avoid is a missed opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, better. The human body, the human mind, they only evolve through resistance. Just like a muscle that tears and rebuilds, your spirit grows by facing pressure. If you never stretch, you'll never expand. You'll stay stuck safe and small. Discomfort's not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every time you feel uncomfortable, it's a signal. A sign that you're stepping into a place where growth is possible. That's where transformation begins. It's uncomfortable to admit your weaknesses. It's uncomfortable to start over. It's uncomfortable to chase a dream when everyone doubts you. But it's that same discomfort that molds you into who you're meant to become. You can't build confidence avoiding what scares you. Confidence is born from doing the hard things, from surviving what you once thought would break you. You have to start viewing pain differently. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge you face is shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for the next level. Think about it. The first time you faced rejection, it hurt, but it also taught you resilience. The first time you failed, it burned, but it also built endurance. The first time you stepped out of your comfort zone, you were scared, but when you got through it, you realized you were stronger than you thought. Every uncomfortable moment adds another layer of toughness to your character. That's how warriors are made, through fire, not comfort. People want success, but they don't want to feel the sting of sacrifice. They want greatness, but they don't want to endure the grind. You can't have one without the other. Growth is a transaction. You must trade comfort for progress. Every time you feel pain, every time you face fear, every time you step into something unfamiliar, you're making a down payment on your future. That's how you build something extraordinary. One uncomfortable step at a time. Look at nature. A seed has to break before it grows. A butterfly has to struggle inside the cocoon before it can fly. That struggle isn't a mistake, it's necessary. Without it, there's no strength, no wings, no transformation. You're no different. The discomfort you're facing isn't there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. Every obstacle is a test, and every test you pass builds your faith and your focus. The people who run from discomfort never reach their potential because they never face what's required to unlock it. There will be days when the grind feels endless, when you'll question whether it's worth it. That's the breaking point, and that's exactly where you need to stay. Because the moment you feel like giving up is usually the moment before the breakthrough. Growth doesn't announce itself with comfort. It whispers through struggle. You don't even notice it happening sometimes. You're fighting, pushing, grinding. And one day you look back and realize you become stronger, sharper, more capable. That's the beauty of discomfort. It transforms you quietly while everyone else is still complaining loudly. Stop chasing easy. Easy doesn't change you. Easy keeps you average. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're choosing to stay the same. Every time you choose challenge over comfort, you're choosing to evolve. It's that simple. You can't live an extraordinary life making ordinary choices. You can't reach your potential if you're always avoiding what's hard. Growth and comfort will never live in the same place. You have to pick one. And if you want greatness, you already know which one to choose. The reason discomfort hurts so much is because it demands that you let go of control. It forces you to trust the process. It humbles you. It strips away the ego and reveals who you really are. That's why so many people avoid it. They don't want to face themselves. But that's exactly where power lies. Every single day you wake up, you're given a blank page. You can fill it with excuses, distractions, and regrets, or you can fill it with effort, progress, and growth. The choice is always yours. Life isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create. The power to change your story lies in your hands, not anyone else's. Too many people keep reliving the same day over and over, expecting something different to happen. They talk about wanting a better life, but keep repeating the same habits, the same mindset, the same decision that hold them back. If you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to make a conscious decision every single day to rewrite your story, to take control of your narrative and choose who you're becoming. The past is over. You can't change what happened, but you can change what happens next. The problem is that most people allow their past to define their future. They wear their mistakes like a label and let old failures dictate new opportunities. You gotta stop letting your history limit your destiny. What you did yesterday doesn't determine who you can be today. Every sunrise gives you a chance to start again, to do it differently, to make a new choice. The best version of you is not behind you. It's ahead of you, waiting for you to show up. But rewriting your story takes courage. It means letting go of the old version of yourself, the one who made excuses, who quit too soon, who played small. That version of you is comfortable, familiar, predictable, but comfort kills growth. You can't step into your potential if you keep holding on to who you used to be. You've got to make peace with your past and move forward with purpose. The moment you decide to change, life begins to move in your favor. The universe rewards action. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the first step. Every day, you're faced with choices that shape your story. You can choose discipline over laziness, faith over fear, consistency over excuses. Each small decision adds up. The best version of yourself isn't built overnight. It's built through 1,000 little choices made daily. You may not see progress right away, but it's happening behind the scenes. Every time you choose to do the hard thing instead of the easy one, you're rewriting your story. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're changing your future. That's how transformation happens. One decision, one day, one step at a time. You gotta stop waiting for the perfect moment. There's no perfect time to start. You don't need perfect conditions, perfect people, or a perfect plan. You just need to start with what you have where you are. People waste years waiting for the right opportunity, not realizing that every moment is an opportunity to begin again. The perfect time is now. Every minute you spend doubting yourself is a minute you could be building yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for everything to be ready. You are ready. The best version of you is created by doing, not by waiting. Rewriting your story also means forgiving yourself. You can't move forward while you're still punishing yourself for who you were. We all make mistakes. We all have moments we wish we could erase. But those moments don't define you, they refine you, they teach you, they strengthen you. Forgive yourself for the times you failed. Forgive yourself for the times you gave up. What matters most is that you're still here, still fighting, still willing to grow. That's what separates the broken from the unstoppable. The willingness to keep going despite the past. When you start taking ownership of your story, everything changes. You stop blaming others for your circumstances. You stop waiting for someone to come and save you. You realize no one's coming. It's on you. And that's not a bad thing. That's power. You can't control what people do, but you can control how you respond. You can't control where you started, but you can control where you end up. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you become unstoppable. You start seeing yourself as the author, not the victim. You stop reacting and start creating. And remember, rewriting your story isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be. It's about peeling away the layers of doubt, fear, and insecurity that have been holding you back. The potential has always been inside you. You've just got to bring it out. That's why every day matters. Every day is a chance to make a new decision, to learn something new, to step a little closer to your purpose. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. People will doubt you. They'll remind you of your past. They'll try to hold you to the person you used to be, but you can't let the memory of you stop your evolution.